Hi, this is Karen. I'm with inspiredbygram.com. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making together my card that I created for my November customer thank yous. This is a card that I cased somewhat from Mary Fish. She's a fellow demonstrator. I love her designing. She used lots of nature images here. So let's get started creating the card. The one that we're going to be creating today is going to be the one here on the right side using a Night of Navy theme and brightly gleaming specialty designer series paper. Mary used a more woodsy theme with Mossy Meadow and the World of Good specialty designer series paper here. And the punch here is the moose punch was used in both of the cards. This one is basic black and this one's early espresso. But I had the brightly gleaming designer series paper, and I just wanted to give a little showcase of what the card can look like using some kind of some other different paper. So let's start with a Crumb Cake card base. This is 4 1/4 by 11, and it's already pre-scored at 5 1/2. And then the next layer up is going to be embossed. I've already pre-embossed it with the Old World paper embossing folder. Love this, the texture that you get from this embossing folder. It's just beautiful. And it kind of resembles some, old world, old paper, but it also resembles kind of nature images as well, or maybe even water in this case, the ripple effect. All right, so now we're gonna just layer this right on top of that crumb cake. And I've just got a little bit of border on the left side and the right side and kind of smack in the middle there. The next side, piece up is the brightly gleaming specialty paper. And so what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna put some dimensionals on the back side of this piece here. This cut is cut 3 by 4, so that maximizes your designer series paper, and you can get quite a few pieces of the 3 by 4 out of one sheet of 12 by 12. So that's what I did with this card. I created about 12 of them last night for my customers. So it was a great fun card to make while watching TV. So anyway, all right, so now this 3 by 4 piece is going to go right down over top, kind of centering top, bottom, left, and right. And then just give it a press. So adding the dimensionals just pops it up a little bit more and gives it a little more dimension. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 1/4 circle punch, and we're going to just simply, I know this is like probably crazy gleaming on the camera, but I wanted to show the punch action, and that's a 2 1/4 inch punch. Again, we're going to take 2 dimensionals. You're going to use quite a few dimensionals in this card, but that's what dimensionals actually help you actually produce cards very quickly as well. So they're just handy to have in your craft room. All right, so now we're just going to move this right over here and call it good. Then the next thing we're going to do is I've already die cut, but I used the Nature's Roots framelits. Love those, more nature. And then I die cut it in Mossy Meadow, just like Mary did with hers, but she used a different die. I'm going to flip this over. We're going to get out the mini dimensionals because these work really nicely at the top of that tree. I'm just going to peel one off and add it right to the top. Then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to bring my silicone mat in because I'm using a small piece here. And this is my the silicone mat sheet is my December thank you gift. So if you place an order of $35 or more from my online store, inspiredbygram.com, I will send one of you these in January. They're just a nice, something nice to have in your craft room. And I forgot to take the dimensional backing off, so let me just simply peel that right off. Came out really good. And press it down. So that's just going to give you dimension on the same height of the circle here, and just layer that right on. So as I was saying, this is my December thank you card or gift by placing an order of product $35 or more from my online store. Okay, So now the next thing we want to do is we want to punch out that mousse. So I've got a scrap of early espresso, and then I'm going to just simply punch out this mousse with the mousse punch. This is awesome, you guys. No die cutting there. So now with this card design, you can actually have the mousse going this way, or you can have them going this way. So I'm going to have them going this way just to show you a different option. So we're going to flip them over. Again, we're going to get out our dimensionals, and you only really need one. So I'm going to just peel one of those off and add it down, and then peel that backing off. And now we're just going to adhere it to the card front right over. I'm going to just kind of cover up the trunk of that tree, but I'm also giving a little bit of that designer series paper to come through as well. All right, now we're going to stamp on this die cut. Again, we're using, I didn't mention this, but let me bring in the stamps that we're using. We are using Mary Mousse. So this is goes with the mousse punch, and it comes as a bundle, so make sure you save that 10% when you order this one today. So just love the sentiments in here. We're going to use happiest of holidays, and on the inside we're going to say enjoy the stillness of the season. So that kind of goes with mousse. I do hike a lot here in Vermont and New Hampshire when I can, and I haven't seen a mousse yet, so I wish I would, because they're just so big and just so interesting. It's such an interesting animal. All right, so now I'm going to stamp this right down, happiest of holidays, on that stitched rectangle. And that looks really good on that little stitched rectangle. Since we've got our stamp set out in ink, we're going to stamp the inside of that card. So let's just flip it over. Using Crumb Cake, you don't really need an inside panel. You can get away with it. So we're going to stamp enjoy the stillness of the season right there. And this gives you plenty of room to write or, you know, your little message. So there we go. You could also change this card up to a birthday card, which I'm going to do for my brother-in-law. So again, we're going to take that silicone craft sheet in one more time. We're going to add a little bit of adhesive on the back of that label. And now I'm just going to slide it right down in here. Just a little bit in that little gap of the tree. And there we go. You could put a little mini dimensional on that side of that banner, which I'll do. And I just peel one right off. I've got it stuck to my finger there. And now I'm just going to lift this up and then slide that in there and press down. So now it's all kind of, it's still lifted up, but it's stuck really well. So now the final, actually next to the final, let's stamp our envelope. We can't forget our envelope, right? So I've got a medium, very vanilla envelope, and I'm going to stamp it up with a tree. And actually, I'm going to stamp this little tree on the inside too. I didn't do that earlier. So that kind of ties everything all together. Now the final step. I wanted to add some gems here. Mary used some different ones. I think she used the gilded gems. I didn't have those, or I'm going to use the gold glitter enamel dots. So these are gold, and this is copper kind of. So I wanted to tone these gold down a little bit. So I brought in my Mossy Meadow blends. And what I'm going to do is going to color these over. All right. This is alcohol-based markers, so it's going to stay on your gold glittered enamel dots. But you're going to still see that glitter through the dots in the ink there that I'm applying here. Let me just bring that right up to the camera. All right, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but they're now green. So that's a nice little trick. If you want to change up your glittered enamel dots that come in gold, you can do that very simply. So now I'm just going to add, stuck to my finger, one right there. Okay, then I'm going to grab another one. I'm using the take your pick tool. And then we're going to slide one right there. And then that final one is going to go up higher. All right. And then stuck to my finger. I think I got adhesive on my finger. Anyway, we're going to add one right there. Okay, so I really thank Mary Fish for designing this card that I cased with the different products. So you can see how versatile Stampin' Up! Products are and how they nicely coordinate with lots of different elements. So we've got a lot of elements going on in this card. We've got our embossing folder here. We've got a punch and another punch and two dies there. All right, so here's the one here that's a little bit different with a black and more naturist theme, but then here's one with blues that works very well too. So for all your Stampin' Up! Needs, please visit me at inspiredbygraham.com. Thanks for watching.